On that note, welcome everybody for the live session of Recharge and Rise. Simple ways to stay balanced and energized. Myself, Sreevalsan, I'm a part of the Jain financial team, and along with us we have Dr. Annie. Dr. Annie is she is associated with Mindpeers and has been a facilitator and has been doing a lot of facilitation with Mindpeers. Along with that, she practices mindfulness based meditation. Welcome, Dr. Annie.
Thank you so much, Sreevalsan. Thank you. And I love the topic, and this is so close to my heart. And thank you for the warm introduction as well. So, looking forward to the conversation. In fact, since you mentioned, being busy is a badge of honor these days. In fact,
Yeah.
let me tell you, today is World Mental Health Day, guys. You're all joining in on World Mental Health Day and listening from somebody who's building in mental health. So this is the busiest day of the year for us, literally. So you're joining us on the busiest of day, and of course, yes, being busy, it feels like a badge of honor or something. But at the same time, when you stop forgetting about why you're doing what you're doing and you start getting burnt out and all that stress accumulates in your body, it's good to recharge and it's good to come back to your body, come back to your physiology, normal state of mind during that time. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation because I have the most busiest day, and yet before we started this live, what I did is I had 2 minutes and I was doing my breathing exercise during those 2 minutes because I knew I had to recharge even in those busy moments to be the best version of myself. So on that note, Sreevalsan, I'm happy to have this conversation, excited for it, and a lot of people who are joining in. This is not going to be your typical session where we speak. We want you to speak. We want you to ask real questions that you might have, and we want this to be a fun experience for all of you. Yeah. So let's get started. Srivalsa, should we dive right in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Dr. Annie, how Annie mentioned, right? So whoever has got questions, just feel free to post it as a comment, and we will take it at the right time, probably. Once she answers probably some of my queries, and then between that we will pick it up. So on that note, I mean, you've been very happy, and I mean, you've been speaking about the fact that it's been being on the day. I mean, today being a very busy day for you, but you're considering it as an honor, right? So I hope the day has been just a brilliant start for you, or probably the day has been going good for you, right? So tell me something. Now there can be days where where everything just goes well, right from your morning coffee or a tea to your to
Yeah,
dos, the entire
yeah,
day goes well. So now I have got two questions on that. One,
yeah.
how do we ensure that day that goes well? How do we make it more better?
Mm.
Probably a day that doesn't go well. How do we make that also a better day?
Fantastic. Love the questions. I think you're hitting right the exact right chords, which probably a lot of people joining the call would also have. So Srivalsan, on the days that are going well, and you see that, oh, I have this energy, I'm feeling present, I'm feeling this, and I'm excited about everything, I'm thinking well, all of those things that you mentioned, that days, that flow state that you mentioned, what I always tell people is to take a pause and try to reflect that what things that you did that day started fueling your energy. Now, I'll re-emphasize that again. What are the things you did in that good day that helped you? I'll give you a small example. So as I mentioned, I had a very busy day today, but I know the reason that today I'm able to do this is I woke up, I know that doing my 4 a.m. meditations is my recharge of the day. I did that. Having my morning chai is my recharge of the day. I did that. So I have recognized 4 or 5 things that bring me energy. For some people, Srivalsan, it could be having a small call with their friends, having a small chat with their teammates, or it could be watching the sunrise. It could be taking a walk in nature. So what I advise everybody is start identifying 4 to 5 things that you know that bring you energy in the day. That's number one. Number two that you mentioned, Shivalsan, when you're not having the best of days, or you're feeling, it's okay. It's very important to start accepting it. And what I mean by accepting it is, Sreevalsan, we all feel that this life is going to be all rosy every single day. Every single day we're going to be happy. Every single day we're going to be enthusiastic. The truth of life is it's not going to be that. And expecting that every day would be rosy is not the reality that we live in. So one of the principles that I live by in life, and it's called the rule of thirds. Now, what the rule of thirds does is it helps you tell that in your life, you'll have three different phases. So one third of your life, you're probably going to be super happy. One third of your life, you're going to be monotonous. You're going to be like, things are happening, moving, very, very mundane. And one third of your life, you're probably going to be miserable. And when you're having those miserable days, just telling yourself that it's probably the one third aspect of the day that's happening. It's fine. It'll come back to the normal days and it'll come back to the happy days. And when those happy days are also happening, also reminding yourself that, oh, I better be humble right now because the other 2 days might also come up. So acceptance of this basic principle of life, that goes a long way to deal with, the not so happy days, Sreevalsan. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I understand that. So what you're necessarily saying is, this balance that we are talking about,
Yeah,
that's something, it just happens, or you're saying that it's something that, you need to learn. Right. I mean, so I just wanted a bit of an understanding, because one is where
yeah,
while you say that it needs to be accepted.
yeah,
Another way, another point probably is because you're accepting it for the fact that not every day is going to be rosy, right? So you're saying
correct,
it's something that you learn and you keep practicing. Is
correct.
that is that understanding right?
Exactly, exactly. It's all practice. Definitely, Srivalsan. I don't think it's today I hear about this or today I listen to this live that's happening and I'm going to apply it in life from tomorrow onwards. Definitely not. I think it's constant reminders that you give yourself and constant support systems and systems that you build in your day to bring you back to that, to bring you, to your center, to bring you and remind you of those moments or those annotations or anecdotes that you want to keep telling your mind. I think that is powerful. So it's definitely a practice, Shivas, and I think it's a long journey. We all in work in progress every single day, and you have to build on it. It's not a 1 day thing that somebody can build.
I have a very interesting thing to check with
Yeah,
you, right? So now we're talking about, things, how you put things into place, and,
yeah,
how habits, how you
yeah,
practice things so that it falls as a habit.
correct.
So tell me how these small rituals, right?
Yeah,
How while you are in office, you take a small chai break, or,
correct.
probably, while you are with your people at work, or while you're not, while you're around people, not to have phones around, right? So
Yeah,
how do we practice that also? I mean, just to ensure that, we we practice these, right?
yeah,
I mean, the phone has become so essential in everybody's life.
yeah,
Without a phone for about 2 minutes itself, maybe,
yeah,
you may have that FOMO of missing out on something big, right? So
correct.
how do we make that as something? I mean, something that as a routine or as a practice.
Fantastic question. And I think that you're right, Srivalsan. All the gyan is available in the world. It all comes down to practice and it all comes down to applying in life. So absolutely. Now, in order to do that, there are a couple of things that you can start doing. And one thing that I really practice in my life, and I've seen it also work for other people that we work with, is called habit stacking. Have you heard of habit stacking, Srivalsan?
No, no. If you
Yeah.
could throw some light on that, it'd be
Of
helpful.
course, absolutely. So what habit stacking essentially means is you take one essential thing that you already do and you add a separate habit that you want to build in your day-to-day life. Now I'll tell you, Srivasan, the thing is, our mind is very tricky. Our mind does not like change. Our mind loves to follow patterns. Our mind is resistant to doing new things most of the time. Right? So you need to play with your mind, you need to play with your cognition a little bit in order to make it adapt new things, right? That's why they say that to build a new habit, you need 21 days or 72 days or however many days they say, right? Now, the simplest way to do it is taking micro steps and building habit stacks. Now, what I mean by micro steps is, Sreevalsan, you mentioned that, let's say somebody is addicted to the phone and cannot just keep it down. Don't tell
Mhm.
them that stop using the phone altogether. They would probably never be able to do that. What you instead can tell them is that when you are, let's say, brushing your teeth, or when you're in the washroom, because a lot of people sadly use their phones in the washroom, try to make your mind disciplined to keep that phone away from your restroom. Right? Those 5 minutes, you start doing that. Right? So that's a micro step. You don't say that 1 hour you'll do it. You say that you'll do it 5 hours. You tell it to yourself. And then when you see that, okay, I'm able to do 5 hours, 5 minutes, then I build onto it. Then I build onto it. Right? So that's a micro step you're taking. And then what you do is you add an existing habit to it. So you're saying that, okay, when I'm brushing, I'm already brushing, I'm already be going to doing that. I will probably also start focusing a little bit about my breath. I'll do nothing, but I'll just observe my breath. I'll just take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. I'll probably just keep doing that, right? Or when I'm showering, again, I will focus on my breath. Or I will, when I am, already taking a walk in nature, right? That's the time I would not use my phone. So what you do is you essentially take one habit, you add a new habit you want to build, and that's how it sustains. For example, a lot of people keep telling me, Sreevalsan, that I want to start this habit of reading again. I used to read a lot as a child, but now I've lost this habit of reading. What do I do? And I keep watching my phone till I'm, 2 a.m. in the night, groggy eyes and all of that. So what I
Or
tell them,
probably I would want to have the phone until I sleep off.
exactly. So it's so difficult. So one is I tell them that, okay, you gently take your phone and escort it to the other room
Okay.
by yourself if it's possible. It's a little difficult, right? You have to take a little bit efforts. Maybe buy yourself a digital clock or an analog clock if you can, for your alarms. If you're attached to alarms so much, you keep your phone out. And if you want to build the habit, a new habit of reading, you attach it to your sleeping pattern. So let's say you're sleeping at 11 a.m. You tell yourself that, okay, I'm just going to read one paragraph every day before I go to bed. I'm already going to be sleeping. I'm already going to be on my bed. I will just attach this one thing, a paragraph every day before I sleep. So you take that micro step, and then once that micro step, you start feeling that accomplishment, or you start feeling dopamine through it, or you start feeling, okay, I'm doing something good, and you start building on it. Yeah. So that's what I would say. To build habits, taking micro steps and habit stacking has proved really well for me, and can be beneficial if you try to do it. A little bit discipline is required. I'm not going to lie. You have to have a little bit discipline. But the truth
Sure.
is, when you go to the gym, right, there is discipline that's required. When you're building your physical health muscles, there is discipline that's needed. You have to do those reps, and you fail and you give up, but you keep coming back to it again, right? So it's a practice, but it's doable. And if you want, there is a very interesting book called Atomic Habits. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
you've read
correct.
it or not,
Yeah.
but this
Mhm.
book also can help you in this. So definitely my recommendation is do read it.
All right. Perfect. I think, yeah, I think you're right. When you would want to, there are a lot of times where I also would want to, keep my phone away, but
Yeah,
I don't get tuned to that.
yeah,
I would be one of those person who would, once I'm done with
yeah,
dinner, once I'm about to sleep, I would be that one of those person who would
yeah,
be on the phone. And then when
yeah,
a lot of days I would just sleep with my phone next to the pillow. So when I
correct.
wake up, that's when I realize. So I think this is helpful. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it would be helpful for others as well. People often talk about, pausing on purpose. You
Hmm.
know, uh, what does it make? I mean, what does it mean, right? In practical sense, what do you mean by pausing on purpose?
To get your question right, what does pausing on purpose mean? Is that what you're asking? Or you're
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
to
I mean,
find purpose? Is it?
how do we mean that in a practical sense, right? I mean, theory could be something, but how do we practice it?
So you're saying practicing your own purpose in life, if I'm getting the question
No, no,
correctly.
no, no, no. That's
Yeah?
not the question, right?
Okay.
When you
Yeah.
say pausing on purpose, when you pause on purpose, right? What does it mean, right? I mean, if you could just throw some light on that.
Okay, okay, got it. So taking a pause on purpose, got it. Makes sense. Okay, that's a play on words. Srivalsan, got it. Awesome. So I will actually give you a very real example, and probably a lot of people could relate to this. So Sreevalsan, a couple of weeks ago, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we were at a very busy time at Mindpeers, and we were doing a lot of things. And I love what I do, and in fact, the opportunities that we were getting, I loved everything that I was doing. But what I did is I took a pause during that busy period. And what I
Okay.
did is I went for a 10-day no phone, no talking to people meditation retreat. I did that for
Okay.
myself for 10 days. And I'll tell you why I did it, Srivalsan. There were twofold reasons for it. A, of course, when you pause and you take a breather, it helps reset your physiology, because when you're in your day-to-day work life, there are so many stimuli and so much stress is coming from you from every single direction, that your body is in constant fight and flight, right? This email comes in, you reply this person messages you, you reply this, constant, everything is just going on, and probably your body is and your mind is not getting that breathing space to come back to its normal physiology and operate from that. And the second reason is, so A, I wanted to do that for that physical health and mental health reset. But the second reason I wanted to do that is I wanted to do it for my cognitive health, right? Now, a lot of times, Srivalsan, people feel when you're pausing, you're slowing down, right? And when you're doing it on purpose, you're like, you're probably lazy, you probably don't want to work, all of that. But the truth is, and I'll give you a question before I answer that. Srivalsan, have you ever tried playing chess when you're running?
No, no, never. Neither
Why?
I
Why
play
do you
chess
think
nor
that?
I run, so that's not possible.
Yeah, that's not possible. Why? Why do you think so?
No, obviously, right? I mean, while you play chess, you may want to focus on the move, obviously the
Exactly.
opponent move, and you may want to keep time for yourself as to strategize what you want to do. But
Correct.
when you run, it's a huge different. It's completely another. It's like two poles apart.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it right, Srivalsan. So if you can't play chess while you're running, what it essentially means is when your body is in that stressful running, go mode, the strategicness and the thinking that you need to do, which is aka equivalent to chess here, you'll not be able to do, right? You can't think clearly when you're just on the go. We all feel that momentum comes from doing. But think about the greatest of leaders that we have across the world, right? Think about thought leaders that we have. You'll see, and if you read their books and if you read their lifestyle, you'll see all of them take time out purposely and pause a little bit. Because momentum also comes from thinking strategically, which you can do only when your other stimuli or your body is in less, you know, fight or flight mode. For example, I don't know if a lot of people know, but Bill Gates, every few weeks or every few quarters, he takes a week called as the thinking week. Did you know, Srivalsan?
No, I
So
didn't know.
he goes to a forest in the cabin, and his way of recharging and getting information and connecting with himself is going to that cabin and just reading and not being in touch with the outside world. That's his purposeful way of taking a pause and resetting and coming back, right? So to your point, this was another reason that I wanted to do it. I wanted to really think more strategically, think from a better perspective, and hence I went for that meditation. So two reasons: body reset and thinking more strategically. Now when I came out of it, I saw both those results for myself in my work, for my thinking in my work. And when you ask me that what is the practical nature of doing it, I would say to everybody who's joined in the call, whatever your form of pause is, and it could be different for everybody. It could be a therapy session. So, for example, JM Financial and the Thrive team is giving you fantastic therapy sessions. That could be one way for you to pause. The other way for you to pause is probably taking a drive, taking a walk. Forest bathing is a new whole concept which is becoming big across the globe. Probably that. It could be any form of pause that works for you. And you'll see the more you start taking it, the more you do it, they'll have some cognitive effects because it'll A, put your body in a reset, and it'll help you gain more clarity because you'll get that thinking space for your mind. So just from a professional lens, think of taking pause as a strategic move rather than slowing down.
But tell me, how do we understand, right, what works
Yeah,
with me and what probably may not work with me?
definitely. Great question. So it's the simple answer to that would be, Sreevalsan, seeing how your energy feels after that task, right? How
Okay.
do you feel after, not before doing it? So when you before go to the gym, you feel all of those laziness and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today. I don't want to do this. I have soreness, all of that. But think of the feeling that you get after. You get that sense of endorphins. You get that sense of happy hormones going through your body. So that's an indicator. Right? Similarly, any task that you start feeling that, okay, now after doing that task, your benchmark should be after feeling. Is it making me feel good inside? And is it helping in my day to day life? When I keep doing it every day, is it also having an impact in my day to day work life, how I'm interacting, how my energy levels are feeling throughout the day? And you'll have your answer.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Fair. Okay, so I think it's again a practice that I think which would give you insight on, what
Correct,
would work with you and probably or what would
correct,
work with some.
correct. And there's no right or wrong answers, to be honest, Srivalsan. In this case, it each to its own. Every person has a different way of recharging themselves. For somebody, it could be just as simple as sitting at home on a couch and doing nothing. That could also be a recharge. So it doesn't have to be a one size fits all solution. You have to figure out what is it that is giving you energy after you've completed that task.
Got it. Got it. Just a bit of a deviation, but I have a
Sure.
quick question to
Yeah,
check with you. Right? So currently we live with so much of consumption of content, conversations,
yeah,
even emotions from
yeah,
those perspective, right?
yeah.
How can we practice something that we call as emotional hygiene?
Wow, from an emotional hygiene perspective, that's a loaded question in itself. So I think that will take a longer
So you
call.
want to break down and and probably take it not so that there's less consumption of ideas here.
Of course, got it. So I think definitely from my lens, Shivasan, and again, to be honest, in these cases, it's somebody has to figure out for themselves. But from our lens and from what we've seen work with other people and for our own lives, what I would say is in order to have a good emotional regulation system, let's put it, when I look at emotional hygiene, I look at it as emotional regulation. What it means is that your emotions you start controlling instead of those emotions controlling you. Yeah. And it's as
Come again.
yeah, it's you able to control your emotions and regulate your emotions rather than your emotions controlling you, right? So emotional regulation is that. And when I hear this term emotional hygiene, I think of it that way. I don't mean that emotions will always be part of humans, right? We have a brain, we have a mind, we'll always have happy, sad, and all the spectrum of emotions that you have. The idea is how to not get carried away and let that emotion control you. So I think that's the starting point where we should be talking about emotional hygiene. Now, a couple of ways where one can bring emotional hygiene or emotional regulation in their day-to-day life is number one, I think, is setting boundaries for yourself. And what I mean by setting boundaries is, Srivalsan, making sure that people around you or in your day-to-day work life as well, they understand and you make it very clear what is it that you're comfortable with and not comfortable with, right? So for example, you do not want to do something and that's bringing you a lot of stress, but you're doing it because of pressure, you're doing it because somebody else wants you to do, and that's bringing a lot of stress in your life. Making that very clear in a very nice way that, hey, I don't want to do this, is a way of setting boundaries. And I think that brings a lot of clarity and a lot of emotional stability for yourself because you're able to put your point forward that, hey, I will be able to do this, I won't be able to do this. That's number one. Number two is setting up support systems around you. to help you think the best way and operate the best way. So, of course, having a group of family and friends that you can always talk back to and sharing what you're going through is helpful. If you don't have somebody around you, you can always go back to your you can have a counselor. Thrive is giving you, again, fantastic counselors. You can reach out to them, have a support system around you. And the third thing is doing things that increase your cognitive functioning and your cognitive resilience, right? So it could be exercise, it could be meditation, it could be any technique that works for you. That could be additionally. And the last thing is, Srivalsan, because you mentioned social media and you mentioned phones, and it's a very tricky one. And I completely acknowledge the fact that not everybody would be able to leave their phones right at this second if I told them to, because there is something called as revenge scrolling. I don't know if you guys know, but people if they don't get time in the day, they lose their phone in the night because it's sort of a revenge feedback mechanism for their brain. But besides the point, phone is not easy to use, notifications are not easy to let go of, but you need to set certain ground rules for yourself that from 8 a.m. in the night, or probably 8 p.m. to the night, I will strictly only use my phone and keep my notifications on at least till that moment. After that point, at least I'll switch off my notifications. Maybe my phone could be on, but I'll switch off my notifications. I will make sure that once I'm around the people I love, I will make them accountable if it's possible. That, okay, can you help me reduce the addiction that I have to my phone or the content that I'm watching? Can you help me remind myself that? So, helping set up that accountability support system as well. So, you'll have to make those steps, and it's a gradual process. So, day by day, you do one thing after the other. You one day stop your notifications, you start using your phone less after you're at home. I'll tell you one very interesting, relevant thing that my father practices. So my father's a businessman, very similar to a lot of, you hear Gujarati, Marwadi family all into finance and business. So he gets a lot of notifications and he gets a lot of calls throughout the day. But what he has done in his life is he has made a rule that I will not turn on my phone or touch my phone till I have breakfast in the morning. And at night, when I'm back home, unless and until it's needed, I will not touch my phone. So he set up those boundaries, and that helps him a lot to not get those extra stimuli from content, notifications, whatever, can happen in the world. And there is flexibility to it. So if there is an urgent thing that's come up, of course, he's going to attend it. But you have to set some baseline foundations for yourself. You have to make those rules for yourself, build that discipline for yourself, and that will help you in the long run.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I think we had a question here. I'm sure somebody had posted a
Yeah.
question. Let me just quickly read it out, right? So somebody is asking,
Yeah.
can you guide me regarding how to combat? Can you can you hear me?
Yeah. Please go on.
Yeah, it says that I'm sorry if my pronunciation goes wrong, but
No,
can you
no, go
guide
ahead.
me to guide me regarding how to combat
Yeah.
creative dyskinesia
Mhm.
type symptoms caused by
Yeah.
psychotic?
Psychotic.
It's
Yeah,
such an awful situation. So I think there's a question that's come
of
in. So
course.
yeah, okay.
Thanks for sharing that question. And I'm sorry that you're feeling, the side effects of the medications. A lot of times it's true that certain medications have really drastic side effects on your body. So, because this is a prescribed medication I'm guessing this is a prescribed medication. So, to be honest, it would be unfair for me to, on this live conversation, tell you about how you can, leave that medication or taper that medication in a way. But Srivalsan, if it's possible, I don't know if it's possible on DM or something, can we help them by connecting them to our clinical psychologist who would be best able to support this situation? Can we do that?
Sure. So I'm not sure who that individual is. I'm sure they would have joined from their own
Yeah, yeah,
personal phone. So what we would recommend or request is that whoever that incumbent is, they probably can get in touch with you
yeah,
in any shape or form, or probably with
yeah,
the HR team. or we can connect you to the right person, and obviously
Correct.
the confidentiality of everything would be taken care
Yeah.
if the individual is a part of the HR, I mean JM Financial team. But hats off, I mean it's really I mean commendable that somebody is coming out and speaking about it.
Yeah, no, no, that's amazing. I mean, you being vulnerable, more power to you, and we'll help you. Do not worry. But I think this live is not the best place to talk about how we can, do with your medications per se. So definitely reach out to us, reach out to the Thrive team, and we'll make sure to help you. Please reach out to us on DMs, or you can DM us on mindpeers.co as well if you're comfortable. I leave it up to you, but know that we are going to help you. But make sure to reach out to us. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. We have another question here, or rather, my thought process, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so when we are at work, we have people around, and you have friends, colleagues,
Yeah.
around. How do we maintain? How do we help each other, and maintain that balance? Without making the other person feel it's forced, or probably a toxic positivity.
Wow, it's such a good question. In fact, Sreevalsan, a lot of times this happens, right? Because what happens is when we are on our journey of being positive and we are on our therapy journey and we are on our self growth journey, what we start feeling is everybody else has to attune themselves to the journey that we are on, right? So what we start feeling, oh, why is this person thinking negative? Let me give them some positive or wisdomist quotes, or let me make them think that way. Right? We start doing that, and I see that a lot happening. Sometimes I also sadly do it, but we're all guilty of putting our journey and making people around us to be on that same journey. The truth is, Sri Wilson, not everybody is going to be on the same path as you. The best way for it to not feel forced and not have the toxic positivity trait is being real with the person. So, right, of course, if they're struggling or something, you want to be real with them. You want to tell them that, hey, is there anything that we can do to support you? But let them be on their own journey as well. Don't try to give them the quotes that you have learned, or don't try to pass every wisdomist thing that you might have in your mind to them. Let them experience him and be there for them without being a preacher for them, right? Let them experience their life as it is. So I would recommend this for now. Secondly, what I would also say, Srivalsan, is a beautiful quote that I have learned is, you're not trying to get people to the next step in your journey. You're not trying to make them, if you are positive, you're not trying to make them more positive than you. You're trying to get them in the next step in their journey if you're really caring about that person. So try to be empathetic of what they're going through, but let them have their thing. Don't try to be a preacher to them. That's the best support you can give to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we've
I think
got
there
a
are a
couple
lot
of
of
minutes.
questions coming in.
Yeah, you want to take them?
Yeah, sure. I see a question. Can ambition and rest coexist? How do we balance it? If I'm allowed to say your name, you know, I've it's a complicated spelling, but I'm not able to understand the spelling here.
It's okay. It's okay. I think,
Sorry.
I mean, whoever has
But yeah,
posted the question, I think thanks for that. But go on, go ahead.
thanks for that. But it's a good question. Can ambition and rest coexist? How do we balance it? I'm probably the poster person for this. So, for your reference, I'm also an entrepreneur in residence at Mindpeers. What it means, it's always a go, 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 hustling life that I have. So there are a lot of ambitious things that I myself want to do, and I hear a lot of other people around me also want to do. High performing people usually want to, do the best at everything that they are. But the best thing they can do is take that time to rest so that they can recharge. And I'll tell you in a very strategic way. If you keep, you know, driving your car without fueling it, it's going to run out of fuel at some point. It's going to close down. It's going to shut down. You're going to be stranded. How will you go to the destination that you had planned? So in order for your ambitions to be fulfilled, you need to make sure what is the things giving you energy, because the only thing that you need to really fulfill your ambitions, apart from skills and everything else, you need energy. And the energy sources that you have for yourself, family, therapy, working out, being in nature, whatever your energy source is, sleeping, you have to do that in order to reach there. If you don't have your body and your mind, you'll never be able to do that. I think Warren Buffett says that a lot of times, and I'm using Warren Buffett's analogy because you're all finance people here. So Warren Buffett says this is the one thing that you need to take care of, and you need to treat your body like a car which you'll only buy once in life. So imagine if you could buy one car, it could be the most expensive car, but you could only buy it once and you have to sustain it throughout the end of the life. How good care you would take of that car. You would wash it, you'll fuel it, you'll clean it, you'll vacuum it, you'll do all things for it because you know this is the only car I'm going to ever have in your life. So when your body and your mind is one, you're never going to have another body and another mind in your life. So in order for you, your body and your mind to take you to that ambition, if you don't fuel it, if you don't take care of it, then you will have nothing to reach that ambition. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it answers the question. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she's thanks for
Okay.
answering the question.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. What
Uh,
else?
we have we have another question. How can teams create space for recharging without slowing the momentum?
Oh wow. It's a good it's a good question, Astha. Uh Now again, this one, what you'll have to do is, Astha, teams teams are what made of people, correct? So whoever is in your team, you probably need to start communicating in a more empathetic way to each other. So let's say you're talking to your colleague and they're struggling with something. Having a more empathetic lens can help, create that space that you're mentioning, and to recharge within, when you're in high momentum speeds, and when you're go 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 go. I think taking micro steps and taking micro breaks within the day, and it could be as simple as we were mentioning in the beginning, as simple as taking a coffee break together or taking a walk together. It doesn't have to be super complicated. I think sometimes we complicate things a lot, right? If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling burnt out, what is the simplest thing I can do right now? I can probably 5 minutes listen to my favorite song and forget about the world and forget about everything else that's happening. And then I take those 5 minutes, I recharge my energy, and probably if you're leading the team, you recharge, you ask your team also to do whatever activity recharges them. You come back and you continue with that momentum, right? So
It's all
look
about
at
the small
recharge.
small
Yeah,
breaks that you take or the
correct,
pause that you take. I think
correct.
that's what I can also figure out. It's
Yeah,
important to take breaks in between to
correct,
to come back
correct.
with so much of energy. Yeah, right.
Exactly,
Sorry, you're
exactly.
saying something. I just wanted to
No,
quickly
no,
add
no,
that.
exactly. I was just saying the same thing, Sreevalsan. You're right. It's all about the small habits that you build. And you recognize those habits for yourself. So, for example, a lot of people, Sreevalsan, come to us and say that the best way that we recharge in our day is doing art. They have a piece of paper, or they go on the Mindpeers app and they use Cogni art or whatever they use, but they love to make art, and that's their de-stress mode. They take 5 minutes of the day when between meetings or so, and that's how they recharge, and they're able to come back faster from this. And I think, to your point, Asta, don't look at I think also don't look at recharge as slowing momentum. Think of it as fueling yourself to get momentum. Also, just probably think from that lens as well. It'll help you inculcate those in your life too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There is a follow-up question, or a question just behind that. It says that what small habits could make our work life more balanced?
I think we probably covered very many aspects of that in our previous conversation. Should we take this one?
Probably you can just quickly light
Yeah.
upon, a bit. I'm sure. I mean, for the
Yeah.
interest of people who may have joined in the last 5 minutes, probably
Fair
touch
enough.
upon
Of
that.
course.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. I think Harsh, right? Harsh has mentioned this. What are small habits that can make your workplace more balanced, or work more balanced, rather, if we take it from that lens? I think it's, again, Harsh, to be honest with you, it starts with the basics. It starts with the simplest of things. Um, Making sure that you know that, okay, this is my timeline, and not being super rigid to it, but at least putting that out for yourself and for your team, that I work from maybe 9 in the night till 8 a.m. in the night, right? That's one form of boundary that you put it, that can help find balance for you so that you can do other things in your life. That's one way. In terms of communication, right, being empathetic to people around you, and also when you're empathetic to people, most likely people will also start replicating that and reciprocating that for yourself. So that becomes a little bit of help in terms of not getting emotional baggages throughout your work day. So that could help you as well. The third thing is taking micro breaks, Harsh. So when you're in meeting, back to meetings, now a little bit of practical aspect here is that when we're doing these back to meetings, half the time we forget to even eat, forget doing anything else to recharge. We forget to eat as well, right? And this is a new thing that I have started doing, is I have started putting it in my calendar. A lot of times when something is on your calendar, you're more likely to do it. So if taking those small steps becomes difficult, put breaks in your calendar. So put a 5 minute break to maybe take coffee. Put a 5 minute break to take a walk. Put a 5 minute break to listen to that music. Take a 5 minute break to do something else, or maybe take a 20 minute break if you have a physical fitness area in your gym to maybe go on a treadmill. So scheduling it in your calendar also helps. So I do that as well, and probably it can help you too.
Perfect. I think, Dr. Annie, I mean, there's a lot of insights that you had given, and I'm sure, I mean, at least let me just quickly sum up,
Yeah,
what my
yeah,
learnings, or, what I am going to at least take back is probably the
yeah,
habit stacking that you spoke about,
yeah,
the body reset, and very, very important thing, at least I have, my key takeaway would be, taking a pause, I mean, just ensuring that the you need to take a break, you need to pause, so that you don't miss out on your energy, or rather, you could do,
yeah,
you may end up doing something greater or better,
yeah,
by taking a quick break, right? I think that's what I have I mean, I am going to carry back today, right? I'm
thank you.
sure likewise most of the people who've
Yeah,
joined here could also, I mean, would also have multiple points to take back. So I'm sure, I mean, it'll be a busy day for you, and I'm very, very happy, and I'm glad that, you
yeah,
had the time to join us and share your thoughts. I think thanks a lot, Dr. Annie. Thanks a lot, Mindpeers. The
of
association
course.
with JM and Thrive is something that we'll take it ahead, and it's going to be a long journey with us as well, right? Thanks a lot,
Of course.
everybody who've joined the session. Yeah, I thanks, Dr. Annie. I mean, if you have anything to add on, I mean,
Yeah,
I leave the floor to you.
of course. So, thank you so much for the kind words, Sreevalsan. I just like to take, actually, there's one beautiful question that's there on the last. Somebody,
Sure.
I think his name's David. I think his username's David, or probably. He said a very beautiful question. I think it relates to your audience. It said that in intraday trading, there is a zero sum game where my win is a reason for somebody's loss, and somewhere vice versa. Yeah. So like, I think this aspect is a is a good question to take. Should we take this last question? Is it okay?
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So I think, David, firstly, fantastic question. If you're still on the call with us, I'd like to I'd like to give you an analogy, and I like to leave you with a thought tinkerer in this aspect. So I very recently met somebody who runs ultra marathons in her life. So she is from New Zealand, and she runs ultra marathons. And if somebody is into marathons, they would know this race called UTMB, which is Ultra Trail, I think, Mont Blanc. It happens in Mont Blanc every year. It's a very hard race to crack. It takes more than 48 hours or so to crack. And she was the winner of that race this year. So she was the winner of 2025 UTMB. And I asked her one question. I asked her, why is it that she practices mindfulness? Why is it that she feels the need to take recharge? So she's a lot into wellness, and she does therapy, she does meditation, she does everything for her mind. And I asked her, yeah, you're such a high performer, your physical build is of an athlete and all of that. Why are you doing this? Why do you take care of your mind, and why do you recharge and do these activities to reach her. And do you know what the simple answer she gave me, Sreevalsan? She told me that my sport is very competitive, and for me to win, somebody has to lose. Like it's the part of the game. And for me to
Mhm.
able to accept it and not be bogged down by it, or feeling a little bit sad about it, I need to do things for my mind. I need to keep reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Or coming back to my body. I need to do this for that. And the second thing is, she told me that she does not want to get carried away by the wins and losses. It's all part of the game. Like, it's all part of the work that you do. It doesn't define who you are. So the win does not define who she is. The loss does not define who she is as a person. It's an activity that happened. You acknowledge it, you accept it, you feel good about it, but you let it move on. So
It's
similarly,
a
there
part
is
of
a,
life.
yeah, it's a part of life. It's a part of life. And acceptance towards it, and making yourself be more equanimous in those situations and not reacting on extreme spectrums in those situations, can help you be more centered in life, in no matter what you do, right? In professions which are difficult, people who are dealing with critical things in life, like he mentioned, right? Somebody has to lose for me to win, or different professions who might have a little bit more emotional toll on themselves. You have to start dissociating yourself with the outcome of the action in terms of work that you're doing, right? It doesn't define who you are as a person. And you need to get centered and balanced on whatever the outcome of the work that you're doing in order to able to, internalize that for yourself. I hope I'm able to answer that question, but that's how I look at it, and that's how I've been able to ground myself in such situations.
I mean, it's very
Yeah,
insightful, as what you, I mean, the analogy and how you connected those. I think it's been. I mean, I'm sure it would add. I mean, he would be at least happy with the answer. I mean, sure.
yeah,
Uh, I think. Thanks a lot, Dr. Annie, and I
sure.
would. I would want. I mean, obviously, thanks a lot for joining us. I'm sure more things are going to be scheduled for the day. Thanks a lot for joining us,
Of
and
course.
I hope we meet soon and now have a probably a e-session. So probably we'll meet soon and probably and converse more on this. Thank you. Thanks, Doctor.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody who joined in, who asked questions. It's good to ask questions. It's good to be curious. And I'm glad that we could spend this evening with you. Wishing you all a happy World Mental Health Day. Please reach out to the Thrive team. Please reach out to the HR team at JM Financial, and reach out to us if you need any help, and keep thriving. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Thanks.